Good day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of
Mom and Son Podcast. This is Rose Fres Fausto, the mom, also known as FQ Mom.
And this is Anton Fausto, the son. Hope you guys are doing great. It's already May.
Yes.
We are in another new month here in quarantine style. Hope you guys are safe. You are eating well. You're healthy.
You're exercising.
Yes, and as much as possible, you're staying at home. And that you guys are sort of used to your new normal already. Yeah, I know that a lot of careers have been shifting to this more digital era, and I don't know if I wouldn't want to say na sakto nga tong quarantine, tong COVID. I would never say that this is a good thing, but
there is always a good thing.
There's a positive thing about it, and that would be that we are really shifting to more digital things. We are shifting to, working now. We don't need to physically be with each other. There is really technology that's available. The fact that we can do this podcast from home is telling us that we can create content. We can do things that digitally. I was gonna say technologically.
Yeah,
so our episode today is very connected to that because we'll be recalling, and it just happened actually recently, a little over a week ago. For our Mix It Up episode, we had the OG Mix VJs, Luis Manzano and Nikki Hill on the show.
Okay, for those who don't understand OG, please explain.
OG, people think it means original, which kind of makes sense there. But OG actually means original gangster. And that is not, when we say OG now, we're not trying to say that this person was one of the first gangsters. But then it was used to describe people in the hip-hop community when you want to talk about who were the foundations, who were the pillars of this movement. Example, you can say that Notorious B.I.G. is an OG of hip-hop music. He was in the late 90s. He was a great rapper. So he would say he was one of the OGs.
So when you say OG, parang ikaw yung nagpauso. May pagkaganon, ano?
Yeah.
Okay. One of the big movers.
Yes, like Wilt Chamberlain is one of the OGs of basketball. Something like that. So the OG Mix VJs, I would say, and I would say the top two OG VJs would be Luis Manzano and Nikki Hill. Okay. So we had them on our show, Mix It Up, which is an online YouTube show that's also a podcast, and it just shows now you can do these stuff even if you're at home.
Yes.
And I don't know if we didn't have the corona, everything, if we would have Mixed It Up.
Exactly. I was gonna say that because now it's easier to set an appointment for a meeting with someone. Diba?
That's right. I've been a VJ for already 9 months, I would say. 10 months, actually. But this is my first time to ever encounter Luis or Nikki through Mix.
Yes.
Funny story, I actually got to meet... The first time I met Nikki Hill was 5 years ago. It was
What
during
year were you in at that time?
I was entering second year college. So
Okay.
2015, we had the hosting workshop for the ORSEM hosts, and Nikki was one of the people that gave the workshop.
Okay, ORSEM is Orientation Seminar at the Ateneo. No?
Yes,
so that was like a big deal.
Yes, it's the biggest, I would say it's the biggest thing you can host in Ateneo. And that's the only one where...
And you had to audition.
And that's the only one where they actually train the host. That's the one where they actually
serious,
give
I remember
workshops.
that.
Yeah, it's up to this day, before Mix, it was the most serious hosting thing I've done up. There's really a process. It's not just... Okay, here's the script. Yeah, or even like 1 or 2 meetings and then you're gonna host. This one is weeks na every day you're really gonna train, you practice your spiels, you work on the chemistry, and I really learned a lot there. And I learned a lot from Nikki's workshop. And it was so great to have them on the show. And nakikinig ako kasi I shared the story the day before and Nikki replied to it and said, I remember this. I wouldn't know if she really did, but then it's nice. It's nice to... That's 5 years ago kasi I know that I learned a lot, but then honestly, I don't super remember.
Did you ask Nikki if she ever hosted the orientation seminar?
I didn't, but I don't know if she did. I don't know what ORSEM was like kasi then back then
Like, but you know that even during my time, back in the day.
Kayo?
Yes, we already had an orientation seminar, freshman orientation
or...
seminar. But there were more of the yung mga maloko ones. One of them, yung I even introduced to one of my classmates before and nag-host.
Oh, okay.
So it had always been there, and I would probably say that this gig was the one that really opened your eyes.
Yeah, it really started my career
To
in
the possibility
hosting.
of hosting as
Yeah.
a career. Okay, so now let's go.
And
What
well,
else?
actually, speaking of things that started my career, back when I was in grade school, and a lot of people, a lot of my friends, everyone here in our house, our family, we're all familiar with VJ Luis, VJ Nikki. That would be the past
Household names.
yes, and the past generation of mixed VJs. And yung it kind of sakto na it happened through Mix It Up, which is a new parang show for Mix. And I would like to believe na I'm part of that new generation. Like I was there in the turn of the style of Mix. Kasi Mix is really making an effort, pushing to be more digital.
Yes.
To kasi that's really where people are now. I don't really watch TV anymore personally, except to watch myself on Mix. Diba? We use Netflix. We go online to get our content. So I learned a lot. So anyway, to jump into it now, we had a little over an hour of talking with them, and the first thing that hit me was how nostalgic it made me feel.
Who thought of this idea of guesting the two?
I think it's our bosses, Miss Ina, Sir Calde. But then I remember asking na maybe we could have the past VJs.
Yes.
But then mahirap, and I don't know what happened there. But
Sana
then,
si Heart Evangelista.
I was hoping then, maybe, hopefully in the future, diba? Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But then I don't know what persuasion happened there, whatever. Kasi it's a new show, so we're still really trying to figure things out. And then we were lucky enough to have both of them on the same time. And sobra talaga yung kakulitan nila na start pa lang, even before we went live. Kasi we go live at 3 p.m. pero 2:30 kaming mga VJs were there na on standby. And then the guests come in mga 10 to 15 minutes before.
So, did you get to talk to them before the actual
Yeah,
broadcast?
actually, I didn't really get to talk to them. Naka-hello lang ako kasi one day, both went on na,
Bumalat
kulitan na
na
kaagad.
kaagad.
Oh, dito ka pala, ganyan. And then, I was like, oh wow. As in, I was transported back to where I am now, the room, downstairs, but watching TV and then seeing them talk to each other. Grabe, that was like 10 years ago. I would say 10 years ago.
Okay, so si Luis kasi, to my generation, is the lucky. He's the son of the star for all seasons, Miss Vilma Santos.
And Edu Manzano, of course.
Edu Manzano. So, he turned out to be a really good host, no?
Yeah.
And Mix.
He's one of the top, if I'm not mistaken, the top male host
right now.
in the country na ito.
Yeah, and a lot of that hosting
I don't know how to
training,
measure that pala. FYI.
So, a lot of the training when it comes to his hosting really came from
Mix. That's right.
Because he was a VJ for a decade.
Yes.
Wow.
10 years. We talked about that then Na actually, when he had his 10-year anniversary special, so parang it was like a look back, ganyan, on his journey in Mix. That was also his farewell. And the thing was, the staff didn't know pala. Like, they all thought na may pakain, may special episode. So, iyakan talaga kasi they were all shocked na Luis was gonna leave na. And rightfully so. I mean, he spent his time talaga there, and he has so many other projects, and his term was, he sort of quote-unquote graduated na from Mix.
Yes.
And it was nice kasi ever since the Mix VJ search, or ever since actually I graduated, I've always just been looking for, okay, what am I gonna do? What's the first step of my career? So I've always been focused about entering Mix, becoming a VJ. But then it was such an eye-opening experience to see life after Mix, life after being a VJ. Kasi, syempre, I've only just been focused about getting to where I am now, and then seeing them, very happy with their lives many years from now. And they would say na they really owe a lot. They really owe Mix
a lot.
Yeah.
So si Nikki was a Mix VJ for 11 years.
11 or 12 years.
So are they like the longest running VJs in history? So how many years has IE, VJI, and VJ
that's something I don't know. I'm not 100% sure about.
So they're the longest in your batch.
In my batch,
existing roster. Because all of you are new. Like Sam is a year ahead.
Sam is a year ahead.
And the three of you are sabay.
Danny and I are sabay. Mga 10 months na kami.
Okay.
As
Sige.
VJs.
So you said kanina you relived your childhood days and you were just watching their chemistry such that when I was watching you nga, sabi ko, ala, si Anton, ask a question.
Yeah, that's
you were
the thing.
odd.
And, okay, yeah, it's just to explain, it's a challenge talaga. There are many barriers na eh. First, I would say, if you are more than 4 people, it's already hard to have a conversation na on stage, on like with an audience. Kasi
and how many were you?
We were 8. We were 6 VJs and then
and
the 2
2
guests.
Okay.
So we were 8 people. So that's already hard kasi you don't wanna, syempre, I don't wanna, sapaw with the other people. And at the same time, alam ko, sila naman yung guests. So, when you have guests kasi, majority of the talking has to be done by them.
Correct.
And I also kind of caught myself na parang, oh my gosh, parang nanonood na nga ako. Because when I heard that we were gonna have Luis and Nikki on, I was really like, oh my gosh, one, I'm gonna get to finally talk to them, ask them about being a VJ. And next, I'm gonna get to watch them talk again. Kasi syempre nakaka-miss yun na it's new content. It's so fresh to see them talk again now and have that same chemistry and same quote-unquote magic from their mixed days. And it's still alive now. So, from that pa lang, it's proof and halata talaga na hindi peke, na totoo talaga yung chemistry. It wasn't like, kasi they're both VJs, they're gonna act like they're friends. They are really good friends. And it was very nice to see. Now, I had to catch myself that, I'm part of this baga. I'm
not a viewer.
I'm not just a viewer. Because it was really a treat for all of us, all the 6 of us. Now we were parang na minsan talaga na lang kami, just watching and then seeing ang galing talaga na it's so
natural.
It's so natural. I would describe it parang minsan scripted. Yung alam na ng isa kung anong hirit yung ibabato ng isa. And then once he says that hirit, may back na. As in, ang galing ng back and forth nila. I remember asking one question. Although I didn't get an answer. Parang, it was still fun naman. I asked Luis what would be his go-to when talking to a guest. Kasi, very important to...
I remember his answer.
Yeah, you should have questions. You should know your questions when you're gonna interview anyone. But before that, no matter how good your questions are, no matter how good you talk or how good you say and deliver the questions, if the guest doesn't feel comfortable with you, iiba talaga yung buong interview, like the whole vibe, how comfortable the person is. When a person is comfortable with you, if that person trusts you, gagabas talaga naturally yung mga answers, yung mga kwento, which is really sort of the point of interview. You want to get those stories that person wouldn't normally just tell anyone. And to do that, you need to establish trust. So that's what I asked, like, paano? Ano yung go-to?
I remember his answer said, halikan.
Si Nikki muna actually nagsabi na, halikan mo. And then when she said that, Luis went, yeah, actually, you just go to the room, tapos you kiss, pero yung upper lip lang. So parang, okay, magamang I knew that it was a joke. But then just seeing that na, I was asking Luis the question, tapos may banat kaagad si Nikki, tapos Luis went on top of it kaagad. Parang ang galing talaga ng ang galing talaga ng chemistry na. And I really did learn a lot kasi going to something that I actually got an answer for when it came to hosting. He was saying na when you're a host kasi, you have to make everyone comfortable about it. But then naman the people have different personalities, different I would say, how do I say this? Appetite, no? Or tolerance. Tolerance for jokes, panggagago, panagait. He said that there's one person in the room that you can make fun of as much as you want, but hindi siya mapipikon, which is yourself.
Yes.
And kitang-kita talaga, he does both sides, si Luis. He would really put himself up talaga and say na, I'm the greatest VJ of all time. I'm so talented. Yeah, all those stuff. But at the same time, ginagago niya talaga sarili niya. And that is I would say that's one hosting style. For me kasi, personally, I'm still learning and still developing hosting style. I've never really been into that much yung...
self-deprecating
comments. And he gave example of Conan, the late night talk show host, na, gets ko nga, like it, if you put yourself down, parang you kind of make it comfortable na, like, wala talaga ma-offend, period. Especially now that everybody's more sensitive than before. But it gives me insight that, okay, maybe this is why. Kasi before, sometimes I think that, why is he just putting himself down? Like, is that how he thinks of himself? Does this host think of himself so lowly naman? But then, no, actually, there's another purpose for that. It's to have that comfort, to parang set the mood na, okay, pwede tayo magbiruhan. I'm okay with joking about myself. Maybe that could be a step to, maybe we can make fun of you also. Maybe you can make fun of yourself. Parang it allows for that new dynamic in the conversation.
Yeah, which reminds me, because I guested what was that, Friday yata, in this podcast. Sinabihan din ako before we went live na, sabi, FQ ma'am, ang style namin dito, parang nagtatanga-tanga kami.
Okay.
So, di ba, mabigla daw ako. So, yun, they would also make fun of themselves. So, it actually puts everybody in that humorous mood, and that's when you can get away kasi with mga kung ano-anong kalokohan na di ba? And it also probably makes the audience more comfortable because you can ask, quote-unquote, stupid questions.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Okay, get.
Oo, kasi kung minsan nakaka-intimidate yung, they're assuming we understand all this.
Oh, yeah. You know what reminds me of something in, high school? Something I hated. I like math As in, alam mo naman, when I was a kid. I like math. When I went to high school, I hated it.
Because you were in an advanced section.
It was in an advanced section, so it was harder na from the get-go. And next, we had good teachers, but something I really hated about some teachers, okay, not all teachers are like this. Other people might like this style, but for me personally, ayoko talaga to. I ask a question, but they don't answer it. Parang, if you're a student, and you ask a teacher a question, di ba trabaho ng teacher to tell you that, to answer the question, if it's about the subject, the things kasi me, there are times I need to really know, I have to 100% understand the basics, the foundation, before I get to understand the more advanced stuff. So, basta makuha ko yung basics, I can kind of figure it out. But then, the pace kasi of the class was, mabilis talaga. And then, once you're done with this topic, next topic. So, nawawala ako. Let's say it was Thursday. And then, I don't know this is just an example. Let's say the topic started Monday, and we were already on Wednesday or Thursday. That whole time, I have just been so confused. Like, I don't know what topic this was. I've also forgot it because I don't super understand. Then I ask, wait lang, sir or ma'am, what was the ganyan-ganyan? Which is like something we covered on Monday. So basic. And then the sagot, yung sagot, parang, you should know that by now. In my head, parang, hindi ko na nga alam Tapos hindi mo pa ako sasagutin. So, basta hindi ko.
But I think, there's also a point of the teacher. Para bang, you should know that by now. But instead of, para bang, humiliating a question, a student by asking such a question, you can see me later. Kasi you should not also sacrifice the speed of the
I
other
understand.
participants.
And I was one of the bottom of the class. Very advanced, that's what matters. I was in the advanced class, but I was one of the
you were a small fish in a big pond.
Yeah, I was the best in dancing. So whenever there was a dance project or performance, ako bahaga. Anyway, what I didn't like was, you know what? Okay na ako sa humiliate. You can humiliate me in class, pero sagutin mo yung tanong. Like, hindi naman siya, I didn't ask naman for like a whole formula and explain the whole formula. Or just like one part na, okay, edi, gagawin mo ko, pero sabihin mo naman. Kasi, wala rin mangyayari. Wala na ako sa point.
So, that was the intimidation. We were talking about self-deprecating.
Yeah.
And not assuming that your audience knows everything.
Yeah. So that is my experience. Anyway, going back to lessons, and I guess my final lesson and the biggest lesson actually I learned from watching them before and talking to them is that you really just have to love and have fun with what you do. Na it was really evident with them na they were really just having fun. They were with their friends, they were having a good time, nagkukulitan sila, and I think it's when you have fun in what you do, that's when you get to make the best output. Kasi I wasn't having fun in math. I was doing it
anymore,
because, in high
like
school.
In the earlier.
Yeah, in high school, I wasn't having fun with it anymore. It was a task na I was required to do. Although I really tried to love it. Like, I really wanted to be like, okay, maybe if I like it, it's gonna be easier. Baka, I was trying everything. It didn't work out. I survived though. But in
college, you were okay.
But in college, I was in a regular.
Okay.
Yeah, okay na. Nag-A naman ako. A tsaka B plus yung mga math classes ko, I think.
Naman, Ateneo High School.
Yeah, that's the advantage if you're Ateneo High School, tas Ateneo College. Medyo same.
So I just want to articulate this observation, Anton, doon sa mga sinabi mo na lessons that you learned, the big lessons that you learned from Luis. The first one is you have to make the people comfortable. Mm-hmm. And that is not just hosting. It's very obvious in hosting, but when you come to think of it, sa lahat ng trabaho din. I remember a photographer telling me that. Yun yung first niya. Yun when he does that, he has won already. Yeah. When he is able to make the client or the subject of the photography session comfortable, that's when he gets the best poses from the model.
I have experience with that. With my minimal experience in front of the camera for photo shoots.
Diba?
If it's a very cold room and the person just takes the pictures and says, do whatever you want. Any pose. I really suck at posing for... I would say I'm good at talking. I can dance. But okay naman ako in front of a camera. But if it's a photo shoot talaga, maninigas talaga. I feel so awkward kasi my smiles in photo shoots are much worse than like when I just take a selfie with people. Like wala yung comfort eh. Yeah. So the second one.
So well, not just photographer, even siguro your teacher. If the teacher makes you all comfortable, then learning will be a lot easier.
Yeah.
For consulting clients, ganun din. If your client is now comfortable with you, is now more open and more honest in telling you kung ano ba talaga yung problema niya at mas matutulungan mo na sila. And then your second one is that have fun with what you do.
Yeah.
Yung you really try to love it. Kasi, ang nangyayari nito, if you don't love it, para bang masyadong masakit, mabigat gawin, Mm-hmm. So that when things are not doing so well, it's so much easier to give up. But if you love doing something, kahit nalulugi ka na ng konti, go ka lang ng go.
Kasi you would do it naman regardless.
Even if it were free. And that is when you keep on doing that, nahahasa ka na, 10,000 plus hours ka na, and they see that you're enjoying, your clients will enjoy, and that's when the money really follows.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
it's a basic law of money. Second basic law of money.
Yeah. Just want to add something to that. Loving what you're doing and having fun with what you do. I also learned is that it doesn't mean when you have a job, learn to love it. From my experience, it's not everything you love doing, gawin mong trabaho. Like, I love basketball, but I wouldn't want to make it any part of my job. But there are things that are fun. Yeah. I love playing video games, but I'm never gonna become yung esports professional gamer. Parang ganun. You have to be aware then with the things that are fun to you, the things you love to do. And you are good at. Kasi, diba, that's when nga yung sinasabi naman natin yung yung mga God-given strengths mo. Mm-hmm. Kasi kahit gaano ka love mo ang basketball, kung 5'7" ka lang. Well, that's arguable. Mahirap. That's arguable kasi there are people na despite all odds because of the love and their hard work. Yeah, but that's now the exception more than the rule. Yeah, so what I'm just trying to say. But it's not impossible. In the Gallup, kasi di ba Martin and I are also Gallup strengths coaches. What we say there is that there is also a limitation to you can do anything that you want. Yes, you can, but you will not be able to master. Yeah, you can do anything but not everything. So dapat alamin mo rin kung ano yung strengths mo. I also want to say that's a parang third big lesson mo rin yan, yung self-deprecating. Which is really not to take yourself too seriously. Yeah. And again, it is also applicable not just in hosting, but in other professions. Wow! Yeah, so I'm really excited to see, hopefully, I'm excited to see what the show is gonna bring, mix it up, what other guests, who else we're gonna have on. And thank you again, Mix, for that opportunity. I did really learn a lot. And votes for Heart Evangelista. Yeah, sana. And if you guys are curious to see and hear what we're talking about, again, Mix It Up. You can search it on YouTube and Spotify. The episodes come out every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, 3 p.m. And the replays are posted immediately after. So thank you again, guys, for listening to this episode of Mom and Son Podcast. This has been Rose Fres Fausto, the mom, also known as FQ Mom. And Anton Fausto, the son. Bye, guys. Bye. The Mom and Son podcast airs every Tuesday, 7 a.m. and can be streamed on Spotify, Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, Buzzsprout.com, and YouTube. Just search Mom and Son podcast for your weekly dose of family, finance, passions, and everything in between. Leave a comment so other listeners may find this podcast. If you have any questions or suggested topics, email us at antonfalso@gmail.com.